Hi everybody on Facebook, and now we're also on Facebook.
Live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook.
Hey!
Hi everybody. So if you weren't with us last week, then I am Rotem.
I'm Ben.
And we love to use Agile to manage our family, how we organize our time, how we plan, how we work together. We feel like it creates very good leadership in our home. So Ben, can you explain in a few words what Agile is?
Yeah, I can talk about Agile. Just to make it really simple, Agile is like a set of tools that we use to deal with change, to deal with uncertainty, right? Ways to manage like projects or tasks or things that you want to do that you may not have all the details for, or there may be some uncertainty or some changes happening while you're doing that thing. Is used a lot in software development, which is one of the things that I do. So I became very good at using Agile tools to help the teams that I work with to successfully finish software projects and things like that. And it just happens that those tools are really good to use in other areas besides software development. And we started using Agile tools in our family life. And it's really successful and also is very positive. It had a very positive impact.
Yeah, because it really, the Agile really values interactions between people. It values people over tools, and it's really everything that we believe in leadership and in parenting. Yeah. And since we believe that parenting should be being leaders, being role models, teach by example, then this is what we do. And today, as we promised last week, we're going to start focusing a little bit also on tools. And today we're going to talk about Sprint, which is part of what we use in Scrum, in Agile. And Ben is really good with explanations. So
So we started using some terms already that are used in the Agile world, something called the Sprint, because in when you do things in an Agile way, you want to do them in small pieces, right? And so typically in Agile, you cut them up into small time boxes, right? So you have maybe a week or 2 weeks that you want to work on something. And then at the end of that 2-week sprint, you want to check and measure and see if you're going in the right direction and if things are still the same. If anything changed, you want to replan. And the next 2 weeks, you'll start, working in that new direction if something changed. And 2 weeks is just an example. It doesn't have to be 2 weeks, and it's just something that became a standard in a lot of different teams and little different processes. But it can be something short, like just a few days, even if it's a small project or a small you're planning a party and you have a couple of days to plan it. You can use a sprint, a 1 to 2 day sprint, you can call it. You do something, get a few things done, then you check if we're still going in the same direction, if the plan is still the same, and things like that, and then go back. And Scrum, like Rotem said a minute ago, is like a specific way of doing Agile. It's a specific way of doing it that tells you how to set things up, how to set up your meetings, how to organize all the different pieces, all different tools that go into Agile.
Yeah, and the reason that we like it so much is that when you use those tools, you don't have to think so much. It's already built in. It already exists in the system. We don't have to reinvent everything from the beginning. Personally, I suggest that once you start using some of those tools, to really use them the way they're supposed to be, and then you can, become flexible and play with them, because it's also about flexibility and about change.
Yeah.
Everybody in this, in my page, and in the Balanza Center already know that, change is my thing. That's what I like. But so I was thinking that maybe we can show an example of how we use Sprint. And I thought that one good example was to talk about when we were planning a relocation. We said last week that we relocated from Israel to New Jersey about a year ago with 3 kids. It took a lot of planning where we're going to live, what we're going to eat, how we're going to get a car, how the kids
a lot of small
school.
tasks, a lot of small things that
Yeah.
had to be done, and sometimes things were changing in the
So
middle.
it was big things and small things.
Yeah.
So the way we started, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the process, and then maybe can break it into the tools that we use.
Yeah.
So what we did is we started with a vision, with what we want it to look like in the end. You know, we sat all of us together, us with the kids, and everybody said kind of what they want to do.
What's important to them?
What's important to them? Yeah, for one child is her ballet class, for another it's his music. They all wanted to make sure that they will be able to meet friends, and so there were a lot of things involved. For example, where we're going to live, because we just wanted to know that we're going to move into United States, but we didn't know where. But once we had more details, you know, we could focus on what we want to do. And then we created a list of tasks, which, like Ben said, kept changing and things kept adding, and then we had to erase what we already did, but we also had to make sure that the other person already knows what was getting done, so it won't all get mixed up. And
so that's a problem that happens. That's a very common problem, right? That some tools in Agile, in kind of like Agile thinking, kind of help you with, because the thing about being able to stay in sync, right? To be able to stay in sync about what's happening and what has changed and what's what I did today, or what I didn't get to do, and things like that, because everyone has to know what's going on. And this is like, you know, going back to the software development teams, this is something that's really crucial. Everybody know what's going on and what's happening and what is done and what's not done. And with us, with that planning, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That we wanted to know, you know, were we able to get this paperwork done? Are we able to file these documents? Are we able to, you know, so all these little bits and pieces that we broke down, right? Little tasks that we broke down. We broke the big ideas down to smaller tasks. We always had to stay in sync. So that's one of the things is that's common in Agile, is to have this communication, right? Yeah. This communication in a consistent way of keeping in sync.
Yeah. So Ben already brought up one of the things that we have to deal with, how to stay in sync, and we used Trello.
Yeah.
Right. We use Trello.
It's one of the tools.
Yeah, it's one of. We just chose to use it because it was very easy for us. It worked really well. There's a lot of other tools.
Like we used it to put all the little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And forget them.
But anybody that wants other tools, you know, you can. Ben has a lot of ideas, and you can ask.
There's lots of tools out there.
A lot of tools. Yeah, a lot of gadgets, a lot of tools, a lot of
paper,
apps.
a pencil.
Yeah. But no, so we had to use that because it was just too much. It was more than organizing a birthday party. It was big. So then seeing this whole list of tasks to do became a little bit overwhelming. And we were wondering if maybe we need some outside help, maybe from friends, maybe from parents. And what we did is that we broke it to pieces, week by week. Each task had a due date on it, and we divided it. And then at the end of the week, which is the end of the sprint, we checked. We had a small meeting, if you want to call it that, and we tried to figure out what we already did, what we didn't do, and if it's the whole family working together, it's probably good to have a short conversation every day just to make sure that things are done. But it was kind of like mostly us, so we didn't really have to do that.
Yeah. But one thing that's part of the whole process, right? The whole Agile process is the learning process.
Oh, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about you have these tools and you're going to organize something and they're going to work right off the bat. As you're working with these tools and you're learning to work with these tools, you're also learning to work with your teammates or your partner or whoever it is that you're doing this planning with, right?
Yeah.
So part of the process is the learning process. So you have this retrospective where you're looking back at what we just did. Like this past week, I got to finish some stuff, but I didn't write any details about it. So let's learn from that, and next time write some details. So that way it's easier for us to share, and we see that it's a problem if we don't share. So.
What are you looking at me for?
No, I'm not saying specifically you, but I'm just saying it happens. As an example, it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, we kind of we just love Agile, so we just kept talking a little bit more, but we really wanted to talk about sprint, to focus on sprint, right? And and the benefits of taking the list of all the things you need to do. If it's planning for an event, if it's your goals, a goal that somebody in your family wants to achieve. I don't know, your son wants to become a famous soccer player, and you want to plan year by year. I don't know. Then you break it into short,
into small pieces.
And
small pieces that you can finish.
Yes, exactly. And so for me, the most amazing thing about the sprints, I'm not working with software. I'm a therapist. I'm a coach. So for me, the most amazing thing about sprint is that it really allows us to celebrate successes along the way. To say, "Wow, this is done." You
put that check box. Okay, finished that task.
It's very satisfying, this feeling and like Ben said, you learn from it and you grow from it. But for me, it's really about enjoying the way. Okay, maybe my son is going to be a famous soccer player in 10, 15 years. I don't know, but it doesn't mean that, what's happening now is just, is just to get there. I can enjoy and I can celebrate small successes and small things that are great along the way.
Because as happens with almost every family, things change, right? Things change over time, and you don't want to think, okay, because my son didn't become a soccer player in 15 years, we failed. That's not the case. The case might be that the focus shifted, that the objective turned to something else, and so because you're taking small steps and small pieces. It's easier for you to make adjustments and make those changes instead of trying to make some commitment and say, the next 5 years are going to be this, and things change. So it's hard to deal with that. So you take it in small pieces and move forward in small bits and small steps. And those are the small successes, right? That you have, that make you feel good, that make you feel like you're getting somewhere, that you're getting something done, that you're moving towards your target. That target can change, and that's okay. But because you're going in small steps, you're not overcommitting yourself to something. You're also not going so far that you can't change. Because sometimes that happens too, that we might overcommit or go in a specific direction too far, and then realize that we want to change something else, but then we can't. So sometimes taking those small steps and breaking things down to smaller pieces makes it a little bit easier to deal with those changing factors.
So write these words for yourself: Agile, Scrum, and Sprint. And if you have any questions, you can write in the comments. You on Facebook, you can write to us if you want. We're probably going to be here in about 2 weeks again. We're going to continue discussing Agile and Scrum and how to use it in the family. If there's anything that you want us to talk about, also let us know. We can do that.
We're always looking for interesting ways to use Agile stuff in different fields.
And and if you haven't subscribed yet to the Balanza Center YouTube channel, go ahead. And same thing on Facebook, the page of the Families Hangout. Go ahead. There's a lot of great information over there. So have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye. On Facebook, and now we're also on Facebook.